Daniel Hurst from Guardian Australia. Minister, to a substantial matter within your portfolio, the implementation of the Brereton inquiry reforms. The Chief of the Defence Force, General Campbell, has said transparency would be key to this process, and your predecessor, Linda Reynolds, said she would regularly update Parliament on how Defence was going with this, and yet you haven't once mentioned it in Parliament. You approved the Afghanistan inquiry reform plan on 26th of May last year, but it wasn't released for more than 2 months, and it was just quietly posted on the Defence website on a Friday. And FOI documents have shown that CDF warned you that retaining the meritorious unit citation, quote, poses unacceptable risks to the moral authority of the force and threatens the international and domestic reputation of the ADF and its capacity to operate effectively. The action could be perceived by international counterparts as dismissive and a failure to accept accountability, close quote. Minister, why have you hung the CDF out to dry, and why have you failed to keep the public informed of these important reforms via Parliament?
Daniel from The Guardian, one of my favourite publications, I might say.
I'm glad you read it.
Not, I'm being sarcastic, of course.
To the substance.
I'll answer.
To the substance. It's an important matter.
You've asked your question, and I'll answer it. I have found, and I've known Angus for many years. I've found him to be an incredibly effective leader, a person with great capability, an affable person, somebody who provides inspiration to many that he's led over a long period of time. So don't dare say that I have undermined him as the Chief of the Defence Force. I never have, and I never would. So I take that very seriously. And if you have a suggestion that you'd like to substantiate your comment with as to something I've said, then you should table it here today. And of course you can't. So I'll answer your question. And so we have a situation where, as Home Affairs Minister, in response to serious allegations, along with the Attorney-General of the day, we set up the Office of the Special Investigator. We did that on advice from the Australian Federal Police Commissioner, on advice from the CDF and from others, and looked at all of that advice, and we took a decision to set up the OSI. Now that is, has at its head an eminent, legally qualified former judge. It has an investigative capacity. It's doing its work. And so we have moved into a different phase. I'm not commenting on investigations. I'm not commenting on whether a particular investigation is up to a certain stage, whether somebody is about to be arrested, whether somebody's just been cleared. These are proper investigations that are undertaken by the OSI. So it's not a plaything. It's not something that should be disregarded. I have the utmost respect for the men and women of the Australian Defence Force, including those within the SAS. I'm not going to hang people out to dry, but if people have done the wrong thing, then there's a process to answer to. But we are following proper process here. There's not going to be a situation where we're leaking information about a particular individual in your publication or any trashy publication like it. We're not going to do that. Okay. We're going to allow the police to investigate the matters, and if there's sufficient evidence to prosecute, then they will prosecute.
Okay, cool. Mr O'Connor, your response.